on, but he will be here. Excited to have everybody on our Hump Day happy hour. Thank you, Chase Thompson, for putting it together. Salud, everybody. Got a nice little Breckenridge vanilla porter here. Goodman, thank you.
You're welcome, Carson.
That's perfect. That's fine. So, obviously, we've had a very busy week. Chase, tell us about your week so far. First of all, I'm loving the emails you sent out. Today's email about Target and pregnancy coupons to kid. Right on, dude.
Dude, so I gotta be real with you. So we have talked numerous times in the masterminds, in the fast tracks, in the virtuals about sending email and doing it daily. And like with how it works with a list or whatever, we've talked about it. And this is like my first real foray into daily email all day, every day, weekends, everything. I cannot tell you the number of positive feedback, the amount of positive feedback I've gotten from these things. And it works your creativity muscle like something you've never even, and you were a guy who works at like your muscles like pachow with your, but it works. Yeah, I'm serious. It works. It really works the creativity muscle. Yeah, it definitely suns out, guns out. I'm glad I started in the summertime, but it's tough. It works that creativity muscle in a way that I've never really had to do it before. Daily email. Our unsubscribe rate is low. Is crazy low. It's less than 1% overall throughout the whole process. Not like daily. I mean, like less than 1% grand total. And the execution, I think, has been really, really good. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
That's good, man. Keep up the good work. It's a beautiful thing. And that's the whole idea. Is you're providing content, and you're really taking a page out of it's the whole Jerry Seinfeld thing. A joke a day. Come up with a new joke a day. Repetition. Don't break the chain of continually marketing every single day and making it work. And like I said, it's a good case study for sure. It's gonna be a real good case study. Like 30 days out, like okay, here's day 1, day 30. Here's how it's gone. And some, it's good. It's been a lot of fun, but it's tough. Yeah.
So for you've got a big mastermind coming up.
We have our Note Mastermind next Friday, Saturday, Sunday here in Austin. RSVP list is about 60. Somewhere 47 to 55 is what we're expecting. Big networking event Thursday night before it with the Mastermind students, Quest IRA, the local note closers groups coming together. Really excited about that down to the Liberty Tavern in Austin, Texas. We're doing a little bit of awards show come that Thursday night, so we'll need to live stream that. I've had people request to have it live streamed already.
Well, that's what I was going to ask, man. You just got to do if you can't be in the room for the mastermind, maybe you get an hour of it for.
Well, that's what we're doing at Thursday night versus we're not going to live stream the rest of it.
Can't stop. Yeah, gotta be there to make it happen.
But we're literally, I'm so jacked up. I mean, we got Aaron Young coming to talk about Saturday on the Rockefeller strategy with everybody. Everybody requested him to come in, so he's flying in strictly from Reno. Tim Harridge is coming down with the 2020 REI companies to talk about Blackstone or BlackRock, whatever the hedge fund that's literally got a note financing program that they're trying to roll out. We've got.
Is that similar to FCI's? Just for those watching that might know.
FCI's program is their program.
Oh, right. Okay, that's what I thought. It was in tandem, yeah.
Yeah, we've got a amazing lady coming in, Tony Scott, who runs one of the smallest but most intense note servicing conventions around. She's coming as a special guest for our buddy Bill Coppage. And Bill, freaking knowledge anyway on the servicing side. We also are bringing in, you're going to love this, a nonprofit who's buying portfolios straight from HUD and FHA, looking to partner with us.
Is this a female-owned nonprofit?
No, it's a male-owned. There's one of the few nonprofits that have been approved to purchase portfolios.
Right.
And then we're bringing in a brand new firm that's, well, not really brand new, but they specialize in just hardest hit funds and working with investors like us to literally get hardest hit funds approved. And their big thing is Florida right now and some of the other states. So it's going to be busy. Plus the normal business development we do, the networking. We won't spend a lot of time breaking down assets. We'll do the assets after the event, give people some more time. Review. We'll still do a draft system, but it's going to be legit for 3 days. Plus, you throw in a night out at Esther's Follies, the night at the Round Rock Express.
It's not a bad gig.
No,
not a bad gig. Not at all. No, that's gonna be a lot of fun. That'll be really cool. And then, so I obviously you're looking forward to all of the presenters, but that nonprofit one, I think. Oh, well, of course, the BlackRock. Yeah, this is a different lineup. This is a really different lineup than you've had out there for sure. That's tremendous.
Yeah, it's
and then of course you got the opportunity to buy deals, which is never bad. And then you've got
yeah, that's what I spent this morning, yesterday afternoon, reaching out to the asset managers and hedge funds to get some lists. I mean, that's partially what I was doing today with the lunch and learn of 4-hour webinar on breaking down assets was one of the lists that we will have to cherry pick next week. The week
okay,
after.
so with those assets that you broke down today and stuff that will be available, would it behoove some of the mastermind people to go back and watch that or no?
Yeah, well, I'll be posting it here to Basecamp for the mastermind group here before too long.
Is this Rumpelstiltskin? Is this your boy right
It's
here?
not Rumpelstiltskin. I don't know who that guy is.
That would be Tim. He's official Twitter page for the real Tim DeCobb. He wanted us to come in. He wants to join. So anyway, so would it behoove them to watch it if that's going to be part that's going to be handed out?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a little bit, especially for those that are brand new to the mastermind.
Right. Interesting. Very cool.
Yeah.
So what is it's a shorter mastermind than before. So how are you managing that time? Based off of that, you know what I'm saying?
Well, what we've done in the past with being a 4-day or 5-day mastermind, we usually took a day and a half off in the middle to have fun.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
To go do something, excursions. Well, since we're condensed to Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's going to be more content. It'll be business development big on Friday like we normally do.
Right.
You'll be speaking, and I'll probably have you speaking on Sunday.
Right, sure.
On marketing, things like that. But Friday primarily will be business development. So it'll be networking, roundtables, moving people around throughout the 3 days so they get a chance to network with everybody. And so I basically got the schedule breaking down for every hour and a half. Friday.
So is it going to just be tighter in terms of scheduling? Tight. Yeah, tighter in terms of scheduling is what it is.
Yeah,
nice.
Very, very tight as far as scheduling. So
very cool. That'll be awesome. How many people are supposed to be out at this one? 40?
We'll have 50 plus. We've got 46 RSVP'd right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
the late bloomers.
There's always a couple people that don't pay attention to Basecamp and other things. So
very cool. No, that's exciting. That's awesome. Very excited. Now we're just waiting on your boy Patrick.
I know. Come on, buddy.
Good thing you didn't oversell who he was, because it would.
Well, I want to thank we have 62,
yeah.
92 people. I don't know on watch this right now. So gotta love technological issues. Blabs are kind of a new technology, but Patrick downloaded Blab, but he downloaded the wrong Blab application.
How is that even? I don't even know if that's possible.
There's a second Blab out there, so I don't know.
It is. Well, that's just bad branding on their part. They should have went with something that was a little more. This is something that they could have owned. But Who am I to tell well-funded companies what to do? No, that's awesome. No, I'm really looking forward to it. And there seems to be a lot on Basecamp of the people that will be going, a lot of that, can't wait to meet you, can't wait to meet you, can't wait to. So there's going to be a lot of connections made, a lot of networking that's going to be happening, which I think is going to be unique.
It'll probably be 75% people have been to masterminds before and 25% of some new blood, some new people that have been part of the fast track training in the last, 6 months.
Right.
People that are actually really diving into making things happen with their business.
Mm-hmm,
so
It's very cool.
Yeah.
No, I dig that. That'll be awesome. That'll be really good. And then, do you have an idea of the assets people will be looking at? Quantity-wise?
I've got a little bit today. I sneak peeked some on second list yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So, I got email going out tomorrow to the asset managers again for more assets. And so just, we've got a couple exclusive lists that we'll be looking at and bidding on. Joel Markovitz might be coming in with a list or two. My EA might actually be coming out and spend a day or two with us as well.
I'd much rather he just bring his wife. I mean, she's just so much more fun. No, that's awesome, man. I always love seeing that guy. That's fantastic. That'll be a lot of fun. I mean, both those kids are in school now, I think, right? Or so.
They are.
You should have the time, You should have the time. Joseph Campbell joining us. What's up, Joe? How you doing, bud?
One of the cool things we're doing at the happy hour, the networking event with the Quest IRA on Thursday night, is we're doing a mini awards banquet.
Mm-hmm.
So literally everybody that's part of the Masterminds Closed Deals will get a certificate or plaque on where they're at and kind of everybody see wherever they're at. It's kind of a fun, rewarding thing. I think people are going to really dig.
Yeah.
You know,
Is it gonna be like the Oscars? You're gonna get somebody yanked out?
it could be. I guess I could dress up kind of fancy for it. But
No, I just meant is somebody gonna get yanked if they talk too much?
oh yeah, I won't let them do.
Oh, no word speeches. No.
There's no acceptance speech. It's like get on, get your shit, get off the stage, go have a drink.
Sure. No, that'll be rock and roll. That'll be good. That'll be a lot of fun. That's that's fantastic. And then in the following week, is that Paper Source or is it the next week?
I think Paper Source is actually Paper Source is the last week of April.
The last week, and y'all be out at that as well.
No.
Oh, I thought that was what was on. I thought it was on the calendar, so I thought you were going to be out there.
No, well, it's vacation week, so we're not doing we're not going to anything. The following week, the 22nd, 23rd, 24th, for those of us that are out in California, we'll be speaking at the Think Realty Expo in Long Beach. That'll be the thing on the Saturday, and doing a meetup kind of the Thursday night before with the Orange County, LA County, and San Diego area note closures groups on a Thursday night. So
wow, that's going to be a pretty large number of real estate investors getting together, and then Think Realty is also getting. Wow, that'll be a lot. That'll be cool. Yeah. That'll be a lot of fun. That'll be good. Interesting. I thought you were going to be at a Paper Source. Okay, no worries. It's good.
So he goes, dude, is Blab a no go on a Samsung?
It doesn't have any bearing on that, though. They might not have an Android app. I would highly recommend him jump on that.
Oh, is that him? No, that's not him.
It's all good. What do you say?
Nothing. I'm just kind of laughing. I'm like, we probably need to start prepping these the day before, doing test runs.
I mean, I guess I don't really ever.
Everybody says technologically savvy as you and me, Chase.
Okay. I try not to claim that sometimes, just in case. Yeah, they might not have an Android app, my man. But they just might not have an Android app.
Not work on Samsung.
So he'll have to either hop on a PC or we'll have to bring somebody else on. Yep, there you go. PC Evan Associates, thanks. Blab Android app is not blab.im.
Well, so it doesn't work.
All good. I was really looking forward to it. Dang. He could probably view it. I just don't know if I could bring him in, Shucks.
Well, that sucks.
Must use browser. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and give you a couple. Appreciate you, PCF.
Is that PCF Associates?
Yeah. Helping us out, letting us know it's just not available on Android. You should probably go ahead and just, upgrade to an iPhone. That's awesome. Yeah, so if he doesn't jump in a browser.
So should we send him a Hangout link or no? Or no, that wouldn't work either. Everybody here that's here is here already. Yeah, we don't want to do that. Mm-hmm. So, all right. So let's do this. If Patrick gets rock and rolling, great. If he doesn't, we'll reschedule for another time for next week, for next Wednesday. Hang on here. Let me call him. Well, that sucks. I didn't know that either. Thanks, Blab.
Well, it's fantastic when apps do things against you. They just don't care about you, I could get someone else in here that might be interesting to discuss notes with in real estate investing.
Get on that.
You want to get on that?
Yeah, get on that. Hey, I guess it's not set up for Samsungs. Right. I guess it's an iPhone versus an Apple app. Are you near a computer or no? Do you want to just reschedule? You just want to reschedule for next Wednesday? Do you want to just reschedule for Wednesday? Well, if it's right there, sure, let's get you on. If you can jump on the computer pretty fast through a Chrome app, yeah, that's fine. Let's try that. That's fine, no problem, Patrick. Thanks, buddy. Bye. He's like, I'm on my phone. It like halfway loads and then doesn't load and all that good stuff. He goes, I'm right next to the computer. It'll take me like 4 minutes. I'm like, that's fine. If it doesn't work, then we'll just reschedule for next week. So he's working on getting it done.
Lovely.
Captain.
Yep.
Lovely.
I'm giving her all she's got, Captain. She's falling apart at the seams. So anyway, let's talk about what's going on in the market now until Patrick shows up. All right. Kind of a crazy thing. I know a lot of investors out there are a little up in the uproar with Obama saying you can't not rent to criminals. Did you guys see that out there?
I did not see that.
Yeah, big news that they're like, oh, that's actually if you choose not to rent to criminals, you're actually discriminating against them.
Unless it's drug charges.
Unless it's drug charges?
Illegal distribution of drugs.
Illegal distribution of drugs. Okay.
All right. So,
Yeah.
But they urge strongly that you consider renting to people with criminal records.
Yeah, and
Depending on what it is.
who's gonna pay my rent? Who's gonna pay the rent to me when they can't?
really? So, what's the what's the reason? What would be the draw? Why do that?
Why not, or why to do that? I don't know. It's just people are complaining about. Some people are complaining that convicts are being discriminated against, and I'm like, well, what do you expect?
I think that's kind of one of the issues that we've seen with some properties in Cook County or what have you is just the random, in some of the areas aren't bad areas. You just got spares in there, just people that aren't, I wouldn't want to have in there. Austin just passed the second chance law, which is a similar type of law. Interesting.
Since I don't invest in Austin much, even though I live here, it's too damn expensive.
Well, it's not a bad gig. Not a bad gig. So I guess just the reason is because they might not get another chance otherwise.
I guess so.
Exactly.
Am I gonna get okay?
But they're there already. I mean, they've already done it. I don't know. I guess it depends on the area too. I don't know. There's not. Well, I guess it all depends, right? Anybody's Walter White, but I don't know too many of my neighbors that would be in that scenario. So potentially that might be a situation with it.
I see Patrick's little thing pop up here.
Yeah, we got a couple people coming in.
He popped up on the thing.
Now he's just got to click. Now he's just got to click on open seat, and he's good to go.
There you go, Patrick. Click on the open seat and call in.
Oh man, I love it.
And Patrick, if you're listening to me, it's the link I emailed you, not your link on Facebook. Okay. The link on Facebook is just for people to view, not for you to join in. So the link that I sent you this morning, if you're listening, because I can see him in here, he's the guy here in the brown jacket up there, the bald head.
Looking savvy.
We're getting close.
He's been on Blab for one day. I'm very excited about it. He's almost here. Oh, yeah. So close. So close. He's almost here. I'm really intrigued about this now. It's just like the holy grail of guests now. At this point, it's just been so hard to find that I'm going to wow my socks off. I'm very excited.
Good times, good times. So one of the biggest things I think I like about what Patrick will probably talk about is overcoming obstacles. And he's got such an interesting story. And how I met Patrick, we're actually part of a similar mastermind called Collective Genius. And Patrick is kind of the go-to. Oh, I see him popping up. Come on. There he is. Hallelujah, brother.
Well, we still haven't heard any audio, though.
Oh,
We're getting there.
There we go.
there we go, brother. Good to see you, man.
Yay.
How is your day going?
Oh,
Just trying to get the
The earpiece working?
so do you want to finish his intro? While
Oh,
you
yeah.
You still can't hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you. You're good. We can hear you.
It'd be nice if that went both ways. Hold on. We're
Oh, I
doing
like
what
how
they
he's-
say they can't do.
I like how he's
Saying we
responding,
can't run this stuff.
even though he can't hear us. I think that's good. He's reading lips, I think.
Apparently the hotel here runs like an Internet Explorer browser from the late 80s. And they don't allow you to update. They didn't allow me to update their computer to Chrome. How dare them?
Yeah.
Just rude.
Yeah, we're one step away from making this happen. So, Scott, you talk for a little while I try to figure out how to get your volume speaking here. Give me
That's
like one more
fine.
minute here.
Anyway, Patrick and I have known each other for a little while now, and he is the one guy that you want to have on your side in a dark alleyway because he would literally wipe everybody out and you'd be fine.
Wait, what? What is his background? I thought you said he was in real estate. Is he also
well,
in jujitsu? Some sort of?
Yeah, well, that's we'll let him talk about that because at 38 he had a whole mental shift on some things, and it would crack you up. Well, maybe not crack you up, but it'll actually surprise you of some of the things he's done because he's literally Patrick has helped. I don't want to take too much of his thunder, but he's literally helped expand Fortune Builders to where they were, from where they were to where they are now, being one of the coaches and kind of help people managing the coaches for those guys and getting things done. And we got several mutual friends that are just huge fans of Patrick.
Really?
And how well he's helped them expand their thing. And so that's part of the reason. Oh, there we go. That's a good looking background there, Chief. Can you hear me okay, Patrick?
He's wearing such a sharp hat too.
He is, dude.
He looks like
that round top
looks
head.
like a newsie. That's sweet.
Not still. There you go. Nothing. So you can't hear anything if you unplug the headset?
The greatest blab in the history of blab.
It is the greatest blab.
Slab is worth it.
It totally is worth it, though, you guys hanging around. Hang on.
Maybe you just could communicate with him through text. Is he putting it to his ear?
Hey, Scott.
Yeah, can you hear me? Or no?
Nah, I don't know what's going on. I thought I had this thing tricked and beaten. Let me try one more thing here. What a nuisance.
Well,
I can see you all
we can
laughing
see
at
you.
me. That's freaking
No,
crazy.
we're not laughing at you. We can hear
I
you.
can see you and I flap like that and all that, but that doesn't mean I can hear crap.
I know.
Right. So what we could do, right? We could pretend I know what you're asking me. We can just let it roll, okay? And
I will text you. How about I text you? How's that sound?
call me. Is that what you said? This ought to be comical.
Oh, it's already comical.
Yeah, the same phone that I'm blabbing you on that I can't hear you on.
That's funny.
He's on the phone. You can't text
That's what it is. It's an issue. Okay. So look at your phone. I just texted
Yeah, I
you.
see the point. That's cute. Man.
We love you, Patrick.
Man.
I can't breathe. This is the greatest thing ever.
All right. Maybe try again because I had a do not disturb sign up. So try that again.
I have a great idea.
Now you can disturb the shit out of me.
Because everybody can hear you.
What'd you say? Tell them who you are. This is going to be funny.
Tell them who you are.
Oh, excellent. Well, I am not an IT specialist, and I'm certainly not a regular Blab user. I can let you know that. But what I am is kind of more on the side of a performance coach. I come out of the background of real estate investment. I've been doing investment now for almost 20 years, and always taking kind of the unique approach of the troubled path. We started doing short sales back in the late 90s before anybody knew what a short sale was. And by the time we retired that as a business model, we'd done well over 1,000 short sales. We migrated from that into an even more challenging space to doing what I call high risk, high return real estate, where we now focus on, and when we started in short sales, nobody wanted to do a short sale. Nobody wanted anything to do with the short sale. And that's what made it so opportunistic for us. And of course, as soon as, it got overly regulated, by a government intervention, it became less feasible. It made less sense to be honest with you, it made less sense for us, made less sense for the banks, made less sense for the consumer, but the government felt like they're doing something important, but clearly they weren't. So our key focus in real estate now is around the space of high risk, high reward. We look for properties that are tied up in real ugly legal lawsuits, known contamination issues, things like that. All the types of properties that everybody else just considers completely yucky, wants nothing to do with. Banks don't want to carry the liability, the headache of defending lawsuits and all that kind of stuff. So that's what we do in the real estate space. But through these years of building and doing real estate, got me into the educational side of real estate, where I was part of probably one of the country's largest real estate training programs that I helped found back in 2008. 2007-8, we launched it, and by the time I retired it, which was in the fall of 2013, we were nearly a $100 million company. So it had grown very big. And what I learned in that time, after dealing with literally thousands of students, many of which I just worked one-on-one with, is that there was more to being successful than just learning about real estate. And Scott, I can tell you, a lot of your listeners, this will make sense too, right? That we spend so much time, energy, effort, money, anguish learning more real estate stuff, yet still doesn't give us what we want out of it. Does that make sense? And totally. Then we feel the need, well, if we learned this much, right, and it got us this far, maybe we got to learn a whole bunch more. And we in time, we start like kind of questioning our methodology. Is doing more actually going to do more for us? And I can tell you firsthand, working with thousands of students, the answer is no. Whatever got you to where you're at ain't going to get you to where you want to go. And at some point, we got to come to terms with that reality. That got me into the performance coaching. You say, well, at the end of the day, what do you do, Pat? Well, I help inspire people to live an inspired life. People don't get into real estate investment, buying notes, flipping houses, rehabbing, dealing with contractors, all that BS, because they want another job. They want what it does for them and for you, right? That's why we get into this, not because we want to be this, wonderful real estate investor. There's an ego side of us that fulfills, but that gets old a few houses later, right? But the challenge is, and Scott, and I heard a second ago, you mentioned, the mastermind we're part of. The challenge is oftentimes we create a why. Now, I'll go through this little thing with you. And if you just want to interrupt me at any point, just hold up one of your cute little signs.
You're doing good, brother. You're doing
I was going to say,
so here's the challenge.
I didn't know we had.
Just teaching more real estate. You know what? My wife says I look just like you. Let's go there. Let's do that. I didn't shave. You guys, holy shit. This dude's actually famous.
It is.
He plays like this. So we'll take the space of working right now with some high-end real estate investors, right? And I want you guys to listen to this part, because this is pretty important. And you've been asked more than once through your journey, what is your why? What's your purpose? Like, why do you do what you do? And our default space to that, the default location we go to is almost always the same. I do it for my family, my husband, my wife, financial stability, financial freedom, blah, 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 right? And at the end of the day, though, I look around, I see entrepreneurs, not just in the real estate space, but in all different areas of real estate, of entrepreneurialism. I see they have a why over here, but they have a business model and a plan that they live and work every day that doesn't line up with their why. They're missing out on the shit that they think and say are so important to you. And then we get in this model, well, don't worry, it is important to me, but I'll get to it a little later. As soon as I do this or have this, then I can start being there for the kids when they get off the bus. Then I can go out on a date every Saturday night with my wife or husband. Then I can finally be happy, but I can't have any of that shit until I do all this other stuff in my business, right? So that's part one of the challenge here in this whole entrepreneurial space and wanting to learn more how and what to do. Part two is this, and Scott, you heard, I think we talked a little bit about this last time we saw each other, right? Part two is that there is a part two to a why. Part one is the obvious. It's our priority, our family, which could be your immediate family, the family that you created. It could be your parents, it could be your cousins, it could be close friends. That's your priority. But there's another second half to your why, and that's what I call your greater responsibility. So now your why is broken into two sides: priority and responsibility. Priority is that stuff we just talked about, but responsibility is bigger. And if you think for 1 second that the only reason you're put on this earth is to take care of some immediate people around you, you are underselling what you're capable of. Quite honestly, if that's all you expect of yourself, that's all you'll add up to. What I'm trying to get at here is, you know what? We're put here to leave an impact, to have an impact, to infect and affect as many people as we possibly can in a short period of time that we're here. And I'm going to guess, Scott, most of the people listening to this call, I'm going to guess probably late 20s to early 50s, somewhere in that space as an average age frame, right? Yep. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? You're looking at the damn clock. You're like halfway through this ride. And some of us are still waiting. So I'd suggest this as just a general thought, and Scott, I don't even know what we're supposed to talk about today, but this seemed like a good place to start.
Doing great, brother.
The question goes to all entrepreneurs that I work with, and it's a way to get them thinking a little differently. And it starts with this: and you know what? If for some reason, God forbid, you didn't wake up tomorrow, you weren't here on this earth any longer, would your life have mattered?
That's deep.
Think about that for a second. Now, the truthful or short answer to that, of course it did, because, well, it's hard to be here, not affect something. But what it does is starts us down a path of how much did I really matter? Did I really make a difference? When I'm gone, will anybody give a shit? Will people miss me? Will there be something I left behind that will continue to grow and expand? Because that's what matters. And when you start measuring what you do every single day against that barometer, it starts changing things a little. Things look a little different. Your priorities get realigned. And some of the stupid little things we get caught up on, the nuanced things, and some of the distractions, and if you want, I can talk about distractions in a sec, Scott, right? Like, wow, what am I doing? Somebody lumped me upside the head with a bat. Kind of get me started here, because no, we're capable of more, and I know this has been shared with you guys before, but we each have a innate God-given set of skills, unique, special to you and I, unlike anyone else. And not to make the absolute most of them is doing an injustice to the giver, our God, and more importantly, disrespecting yourself. I bring this up because it's very easy as an entrepreneur in our world to start comparing ourselves to other people around us, to what they have, to how they dress, to what they drive, to the house that they live in, to the families they might have, right? And the challenge with that, because that's called competing now. We like to compete. I hear one of the most common words I hear from entrepreneurs is about the competition. The challenge with that little mindset right there, the challenge in recognizing that the competition exists, is that in the moment you do that, you empower them and you disempower yourself. You pull yourself out of your own genuine authenticity and you start trying to be like them. You start trying to beat them at whatever it is they do. You want to do what they do, just a little freaking better. But that means they set the rules. They created that sandbox and you want to step into their world and I'm going to beat them at their stuff. The moment you go there, you can never, ever, ever be the best that you're capable of being. You can never actualize your own potential because you're no longer being authentic and genuine to you. You're not even making the rules you live by anymore. You're living up to somebody else's standard. You know what this is met with daily? Resistance. In here. You know it's wrong. You know it doesn't feel right. You feel like behind every corner that's trying to knock you down, going in at the knees. Like, man, the higher work, the action I get. It's almost like I'm swimming upstream all the time. Why it feels that way? The world is not set up for us to suffer. The universe is not like that. The universe is actually very generous. It's set up for us to have an easy ride here until we're stupid enough to do things that sabotage our own mission. And competing with others is one way of doing that. With this resistance, right? You're like this, and this is where distractions come in. And this is where I'm sure you guys can see this too in players versus amateurs, pros versus amateurs. And I'm not talking, this has nothing to do with how much money you make or don't make or how long you've been in the business or how smart you are or anything like that. I'm just talking about, when I talk about a pro versus an amateur, I'm talking about the way you approach the game, right? Professional goes in with his eye on the target, right? Focused in his own genuine authenticity, in her game, in her zone. Always looking to improve. Understands that setbacks are part of the learning process, and the more we get set back, the faster we spring forward. That there is no such thing as failure. That failure word is a made-up F word that people like to use it as an excuse. There is no such thing as failure. Failure is nothing more than you actively choosing to quit. Failure doesn't happen to you. You step up and choose to fail. There is no other way you can fail. Getting knocked down, getting your ass beat up is a learning process. And sometimes the greatest learning lessons come at that exact time. You should stand up and thank that person for kicking you in the nuts that time. Because you'll grow from that. You can't fail unless you decide, right here, I choose to quit. I'm going to fail now. It's the only way to fail this game. Pros know that. Amateurs, however, take a whole different approach. Amateurs are going to compete with others. Amateurs, when there's that resistance that happens no matter what, when that resistance is created, that feeling of uncomfortable, they look to distract, anesthetize that discomfort. And that's where we say, well, we're so distracted. No, BS. Distractions don't happen to you. You're just, again, playing the role of the amateur. Distractions are choices. You have to go out and seek and find distractions, allow them into your space. A pro don't let that happen. You freaking kidding me? Pro don't take his eye off the target. They're intense. They're focused. They got a purpose, a why behind what they do. They don't say, oh, wow, but this phone call and this contractor and this, wow, no. It doesn't happen that way. At the end of the day, there's just more excuses that you're piling on, and you do it for one simple reason. When I say you, I don't mean you. I'm saying you, but if you feel like it's you, it's probably you. That make any sense?
Yeah, it does. Totally does. Totally does.
Amateurs feel the resistance. The resistance gets very uncomfortable. Instead of manning up to it, we choose to anesthetize it. And that could be as simple as playing on Facebook. That could be as simple as going to look at another deal. That could be as simple as just finding another shiny target to chase down and then kind of pretending you're the big entrepreneur doing all these multiple things. No, that's BS. That ain't a professional. That's like a professional athlete playing 4 sports at one time. You ever see that happen before? No, it doesn't happen. Occasionally, you'll see some professional athlete try to play another professional sport and get their ass kicked. And they're like, duh, should have stayed on where I was. See the difference there?
Yep. You have to know your expertise. Be good at
lots of lip movement. Awesome, dude.
Well, people can hear us both. You just can't hear me. That's all.
I can't hear what you're saying, but that's totally cool.
Hey,
What? Hang on, turn that a little. What causes your mind? What caused your mind shift? Oh, goodness. Yeah. All right. So it's kind of funny. That's good. That's a great question, Chad, because every single one of us at some point will be able to look back in time and be able to put a pin on a timeline, a moment in time that can change for us, right? Something that happened that had enough impact to get through our thick skull that, you know, we're not doing things the right way. And I've had a couple like that. Now, for some of us, probably not many on this call right now, but some of it could be a near death experience. And you've heard people, you know, that have gone through near death experiences completely change like 3,000% the next day. They realize that this life we take for granted. We don't know if we're going to wake up tomorrow. We really don't. But when that gets drilled home, when you almost don't wake up tomorrow, you're like, I get it, finally, right? And hopefully we don't have to go through those types of experiences to create change in our lives. But two things I want to share. One, I'll tell you that the first time, and I'm a little thick-headed myself, so sometimes it takes more than one lesson to get this shit done, right? Well, part of it is that we're thick-headed. Part of it is that we have a ego that we have to contend with. And for anyone to say they don't have an ego, they just lying to themselves. So it's not a matter of if you have an ego or not. It's not necessarily bad. It's only bad when you let it rule your world, right? As long as we keep it under control, it's fine. But that's just something we have to contest with as well. But so go back, and I want to say this is I might mess up the years a little here, but say like 2007 or something like that. And I'm coming home. My wife's going out. We have 3 little kids. She's got 3 little kids, and so as I tell you this story, I'll share with you guys the fact that I'll be married 22 years this summer, which is awesome, right? And I've got the coolest wife. It wasn't always that easy. You don't get here without going through some stuff. I'll tell you that right now. And this is one of those things we went through. I'm walking this way. She's walking that way. She goes, I'm leaving. I'm like, all right, honey, we're leaving. She goes, no, I'm leaving. I'm like, I heard you. I got to run in the house. She goes, no, Pat. It's a Friday night. I'm coming home. She goes, we're out. We're done. I'm like, you want to clarify that? She goes, you know what? Love you, but this is not what we signed up for. I'm talking about stopping you dead in your tracks. She goes, I'm like, huh? She goes, yeah, Pat, this, you know, you work, you go in the office before we get up, you work, you come down for a coffee with the kids, they go off to school, then we don't see you again till the next day. We see you sometimes a little at night. This is not working. And it took a long time to build up from this. And she probably told me 100 times, right? That's me not listening. And it took a while to get to this. And long story short, right? She said, you have till Sunday night to figure this out. Whoa, that's pretty intense, right? And I did, right? And it hit that. So it's not a life or death situation. It was one of those situations where I was about to lose the thing that was absolutely, without exception, the most important thing in the world to me, my wife and my kids. And all the while, my why, what I'm doing here was not in compliance with what I was doing here. Just because I said it didn't mean shit, right? My actions didn't play out that way. And I almost lost everything I thought was that I was working towards because I just didn't have it right. I thought, hey, I was providing. We're making tons of money. I thought, as long as I'm providing, I'm bringing home the bread, doing the right job. And no, guess what? There's more to life than that. That was one of the things that made a big change in my life. It settled me down, and I immediately put boundaries on my daily operation. At that point on, right, I'm not only going to put the kids on the bus, I'm going to drive them to school every morning. I'm going to get them off the bus every morning. If I don't do that, they don't get to school, they don't come home from school. Talk about putting hard boundaries on, right? So you can't cheat them or find excuses anymore. And you know what? And women on this call will get this. You know, when you get to that point in a relationship where a spouse is willing to walk away from the relationship, still love you, but out of love with you, does that make sense? That doesn't recover overnight. That doesn't change with a few words. And I'll be honest with you, that took us a good part of 2 years to get back to where we're growing and flourishing. We're both committed to it. We're going to make it happen. There's never an exit strategy in our wedding vows. That wasn't an option, but it was not easy. So I just want to share that with you that, there's things like that make you go, huh? And it makes you really reevaluate everything that you do. There was a second time, actually, I can almost say 3 times. So this one, Scott, I think I shared with you guys. I played international rugby for 6 years, which was awesome. Played rugby for 16 years, got to play internationally for 6 years, and then the game got taken away from me. A series of bad concussions, and Dr. told me, Pat, play rugby game, you know, a hit like this, you may be permanently damaged. You may, and I'm sure I asked my wife, I got brain damage. She said, no, you can't play rugby anymore. All right, I get it. I got mad, I got angry, right? Because it's when you lose something so important to you, is such a big part of me. You want to blame someone, right? I had no one to blame, but I got angry as hell. Got angry for years, and I took all that anger. I quit everything athletic, and no more anything. Didn't even go to a gym, right? Quit everything, and took all that anger, dumped it into business, which is here, little tip: don't do that. That becomes destructive. That becomes destructive to the people around you, to the process, to what you're trying to achieve. You can't run a business out of anger. You can't run a life out of anger, right? That's what I'm trying to do. It was wearing out too well. But anyways, one day, my son, 11 years old, I think about 8 or 9 years old, Dad, you take me to the show, open up, take me down, I want to check it out. So Lions Den. So just open up. His name is Patrick. I said, yeah, absolutely, Patrick. And walked in that door. And the second I walked in that door, it hit me like a freaking ton of bricks. What an absolute crappy role model I'd been for the last 8 years or so, in terms of just being, just giving up on sports and athletics altogether. And that had my son, my 11 years old, dragging me out. So Dad, can I join the gym? I'm going to join the membership for the whole family. So let's start. And that's quite honestly what introduced me first to getting fit again, and then to jiu-jitsu, and then to sparring, and then to full-blown cage fighting, right? All that stuff, which is a whole nother space. Well, we now own a lifestyle fitness center called The Cage, which is lifestyle fitness and full-blown MMA cage fighting, Muay Thai, jiu-jitsu, all that kind of stuff, kind of cool. But so that was another pin, though, that shocked me kind of into you're not playing as big as you could or should be. You have a responsibility. There's people, and this is to everybody. You guys, right? There's people that watch us every single day. You may not hear from them. You may not know where they are, but they're responding to every decision we make, not in a creeper kind of way, but in terms of looking up to us in a form of guidance. And every single one of us that can hear, and ears range right now, has a massive responsibility to leave a positive impact on the people that pay attention to you. Here's the thing, at the end of the day, you will impact whether you like it or not. It's like TV. TV's running no matter what, whether you watch it or not. You will impact people, whether you like it or not, whether you choose to or not. You best choose to impact them in a positive way and kind of enhance your ability to impact positively people while you're here on this earth. And I have other, I think about it.
Well, talk about your, hang on here, let me get.
And paper. This is the first time I ever had to write letters to somebody in the lab.
He's on his phone, Steph. One of the big things that you've shared with me that people can't hear is talk about your first fight.
We'll go back a little. Talk about your first fight. All right, cool beans. All right, so I would love to stand here in front of this camera and tell you that my first fight was awesome, that I stepped in the cage and just destroyed this little punk-ass 22-year-old kid. So I was 42 when I stepped into the cage first time, right? And I pushed it, once. I mean, like probably many of you, you're eager, you want to push things, and I went again. I'll be honest with you, I went against my coaches, I had a team of coaches said, Pat, you're not ready. I'm going to be honest with you. If you've never trained any angle of martial arts, you don't learn this stuff overnight. It doesn't happen. And we all think we're capable sometimes of more than we're capable of. So check this out. So my walk-around weight, same as down about 195 pounds. I cut down to welterweight 170, so I fight at 170. But that in and of itself, when you do it for the first time, is extremely draining. Physically, emotionally, mentally, it takes a lot out of you. Now, the 8 weeks leading up to the fight, I'm sure there's some people on here that have trained MMA. You guys will know what I'm talking about. The 8 weeks when you're in your camp getting ready. My first time I was just under 12 months from being out of athletics for almost 8 years altogether to stepping in my first cage fight, right? And having never trained any martial arts whatsoever. And the guy I fought was literally half my age, which that wasn't the issue. As a matter of fact, the young kids I prefer to fight them because they're really stupid, quite honestly. It's that whole, you know what, it's very easy to get emotionally under their skin. And we know that whole relationship between emotions go up, intelligence goes down. Oh, yeah. You just got to laugh at them, chuckle at them, slap them, whatever. So here's the lessons from that. So I'll go to the end first. I lost the fight, okay? I got choked out. But I never threw a freaking punch. And it wasn't that the guy was better than me or anything like that. Never threw a freaking punch. By the time I had stepped in the cage, I had such an emotional adrenaline drain. So there was 8 guys fighting that night. I actually got walked into the cage by kind of a staple in martial arts, guy named Ken Shamrock. So there's a lot of energy on. There's 8,000 people at this thing. So it was a bit over that part of it I wasn't prepared for. And we had one of the latest guys fighting. While I'm talking, I'm going to plug this phone in, or we're going to end this call shorter than desired. I walked into the cage. I was physically exhausted, mentally drained, not from doing anything other than the highs and lows of all the adrenaline up and down from all the fights leading up to mine, right? I walked in the cage, so check this out. I walked through the door. I could hear the door behind me sound like a big metal heavy gate slamming, clink, clink. Really bright, lots of lights, lots of noise. Once you're in there, you can't see your coaches. It was almost a surreal moment from when I heard the cage. It is a team sport. You're alone. Very alone. And there's not very many outcomes from this fight. You're going to win or you're going to lose. And winning means either you're going to get knocked out or they are, or you're going to get tapped out or they are. There's no other outcomes here, right? But either way, it's going to be physical. So I had this whole game plan, right, that kind of got shot to hell when I walked in the cage because it felt like my gloves were 50 pounds each. I could barely pick up my eyes. It felt like I was walking around in cement shoes. I don't know if anybody's ever gone through an adrenaline crash. But as I'm walking or jogging around the cage, trying not to panic, but trying to restructure a strategy. And I'm like, all right, and I'm going to have to just go back to what I know. And I'm a pretty physical guy from rugby. And I've gone into rugby games where you're just tired or whatever. And like, you know what? I'm just going to go find the biggest guy, hit him as hard as I can. Once I hit him, I'll be in the game. They'll turn me out. I'll just kind of reverse the role here. Instead of going in kind of a protective, I drop my gloves and kind of I'm just going to let them take face. Start things up. Well, that seemed like a good plan up until the point I totally dismissed the fact that this dude was a wrestler, not a striker. Forgot about it totally. And as soon as I stood up straight, put my feet forward, it's the ideal position to be in for a kick.
And I think we just lost him. I think his phone just died. Chase, he can hear you. You can
That's
talk,
exactly
Chase.
what he did. So he just took me to the ground. Now I'm on the ground. I haven't even about 3 minutes of rolling around the ground, rustling around. That choked me out. It didn't choke. funny perspective, my first fight, although I was ripped, and they said I won 195 and healthy, down to 170 and just raw. I was strong. I had a good game plan. Everything was proper, except for the fact I wasn't ready here. And I would suggest, Scott, that 98.5% of entrepreneurs, the ball gets dropped. That's what they lose. Shortly thereafter, another guy, Mikey Burnett, who is one of the original NHB, no holds barred fighters from the UFC. He was there at the match too, and he came up to me afterwards. He said, "I'm going to give you one bit of advice. You're an amazing athlete. You're super strong. You're big for your weight class. Give you a bit of advice at your next fight. Everybody won a loss. You make that decision before you get out. By the time you get in that cage, your destiny is already laid out for you.
Yeah.
Ready for this fight. And he could not have been more right. You know, and it's funny because I share this particular story with a lot of different business owners because it's no different than us, right? When we go in doubting our success instead of betting on our against our failure, right? Shit. We're predestined to lose, and it's not to anybody else. It's nothing to do with what's going on out there. And that's what so many of us got to get on, like fully figure out. It's not about what's going on out there. We decide the outcomes every single time. We're the gatekeeper for what happens in the cage.
That's the truth. That's the truth. Preach on. Hang on here. Hang on.
Oh, hang on. I got to preach on. Yeah. So I don't know how long we're allowed to talk here, but let me share something that there's a piece that I see we often miss, right? Because some will say, I think your original question, you know what? There's one thing to know how to do it. It's another thing to know what to do. But having a deep burning desire to succeed, which is totally different than a burning desire. So my son, the one I talked to you about, here at this event with me right now, is totally cool. He started wrestling when he was a freshman, and for anybody who wrestled, he's about 8 years here. After his first year, he was on a all boys. He went to an all boys high school, and they were defending state champ, double state champions. And they were lacking a person on the varsity side. So he walked in, never wrestled. He's wrestling with kids who are starting school with 8 years. They've been wrestling now for 12 years, right? He gets bumped up to the varsity team, having never wrestled, and he's in the lightest weight class, which is kind of 106 pounds. Didn't have anybody that small. Just brought him on. You can imagine the outcome of his first year. 0 wins, 40 losses. Think about this for a second. How many of you would go out and accept 40 losses and not quit? And a lot of these weren't just losses. That's what big wrestling is. When you go out that dude at will, and again, and again, 40 times in a row. There's a lot of daddy, a lot of tears, a lot of you can't quit. You don't want to quit. Stick with it. It'll get better. When I told him, I said, listen, Patrick, the kids you're wrestling, and this is what a lot of you guys got to understand. All the kids you wrestle from here on in, Patrick, going one way. They're kind of on a flat line. They've been wrestling for 12 years now. You're wrestling seniors, right? You're going to get easier every year because they're graduating. But your learning curve is like this. So they're flatlining and graduating. Your learning curve is every single fight you're getting that much better. Think about that for a second, Patrick. Every match will be better. Every single one, I promise you that. Second season. Now, second season, we changed the rules a little, right? Patrick, this whole pinning thing, what I want you to do, don't worry about winning. Again, you know, and I use this sometimes in terms of digging a hole. You know, sometimes we get in a hole and we try to do too much too fast. I say, you know, instead of shooting for the mountaintop right now, let's try just getting back to ground zero out of the hole. You know what I'm saying? Then we'll work on climbing the mountain. So Patrick's 0-40. I said, Patrick, you know, listen, you're starting your second year wrestling. You're still wrestling kids that got 11 years of experience on you. I want you to take the pressure, the burden of winning off the table. I want you to not get pinned. Don't get pinned, right? And but first half of the season was kind of figuring it out. By the second half of the season, he was the least pinned wrestler with the most losses on the team. Right? But he didn't get pinned. Second half of the season, he got pinned once, which is pretty key. That's big. That's huge. Third season, junior year. I'll give you the end of the third season. I'll tell you what happened in that season. Started out a little rough, but he ended up winning 65% of his matches. Now, he's still wrestling kids that are way outclassed him. But we got a little different plan here. The second half of the season was much better than the first because he started out the first half of the season fighting not to lose. Remember I said there's a big difference between fighting not to lose and playing to win. Well, he continued fighting not to lose, and at best, he was not getting pinned. Change the plan here because you've got it now. You've got what it takes to beat these guys because you know the one thing you have, son, you got what I got. That's toughness. Not only that, you've got a mental discipline now that these kids do not have. Nobody's been through what you've gone through, son. That's your edge. That's your advantage. It's like, oh, I like that. Again, I like that too. Let's work with that. And he ended up winning almost like 65% of his matches for the season. He won, right? Now we'll take this all the way into the fourth season, right? Fourth season, now 4 years in. Again, he's wrestling seniors, 12 years of wrestling, right? 4 year season, he wins SEC's his conference, places in states. Okay. The takeaway here, after his first 2 seasons, and this is what's so important here, his record was 1 win. He did get 1 win during the second season and 80 losses. Yet he stuck it out long enough to feel the fruit of his labor. And if I could draw on like a hotel wall here, which I would do if I had a pen, but I don't, I would show you the graph by which we learn to succeed. It starts out flat, right? It just stays flat with a slight incline. We'll see some gain, some gain. But at some point, we get to that point where we start a steep up climb. Unfortunately, so many of us who start out don't have what it takes to start reaching of our labor, start benefiting from all the hard work. You know, these quote-unquote failures and setbacks are a required part of the process. They're part of the game. There's no other way to do it. And they'll make you so much stronger after. And if you go back to my first fight, you know, one of the things that I learned from a boxing coach long after that I went back on, and this is the guy I train with right now. He's a phenomenal coach. He's boxed with some of the most with some of the most famous professional boxers out there. He said, Pat, the problem with kids today that come into martial arts in the school, and this is, you could replace kids, entrepreneurs, is they don't want to learn the footwork. They want to go right to punching. And the challenge is if your footwork ain't right, you can't punch. You might think you can punch, you might look like you can punch, but you can't punch. And the problem was the footwork ain't exciting. The footwork isn't fun. I'm talking about, Pat, they should spend a month with me with no gloves on just learning the basic diamond drill, learning how to circle out of a punch, learning how to have a base so no matter what you can fire back and counter, no matter what you can block a cross or a straight or a hook. Early on. And the problem with kids today, nobody wants to learn the footwork. And I'm sure yeah, I just want to do a deal. Well, that's freaking great. But what happens when you get into a deal that goes south and you are not prepared mentally? What happens when it calls you out wrongfully, but calls you out? Do you have the stamina to push through that, or is that going to be the right cross that you didn't block because your feet were out of position? Now is, that's one of the lessons that I share with as many people as I can now, because in our society, everybody wants everything now. And the thing is, if you get it now, first time out, more times than not, does more harm than good. And you see it in martial arts, somebody goes out, goes in a fight early, they get the big win, they think fighter, they go into the next fight, smaller guy just destroys them. They got the footwork right. They know the game. They have the stamina. We talk about this now in our emotion, in our entrepreneurial space. A lot of this is emotional stamina. Because the reasons we do not succeed have nothing to do with the fact that you don't know what to do. You don't know how to do it. Oftentimes, you get that little fear bug climb up and kick you in the nads, stop you from doing what you're supposed to be doing. Then you say, oh, but I'm a procrastinator. No, you're not a procrastinator. You're a avoid what I'm afraid to doer. Or, oh, I got entrepreneurial ADHD. No, you're an amateur that tends to distract yourself instead of dealing with the stuff in front of you. All these things roll together, and everybody wants the magic pill. Why can't I just get it right? Take a step back, learn the footwork. Put in enough time to where get that 1-80 record, so the next season you win 3/4 of your fight. Next season you become state champ or state qualifier. It's not that difficult, but it takes some guts.
That's huge. Big, huge.
Kind of cool.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Can I share a thought on procrastination? Because it's something a lot of us deal with and struggle with. And I want to tell you that procrastination, to some degree, gets a bad rap. Go figure that one out. There's some people going, I knew it. But here's the thing. There's two sides of procrastination. One that gets a bad rap that you can use as a tool, right? As an actual tool to get things done. But there's another one that steals your freaking dreams. And you got to be careful here. One you can utilize strategically. The other one you got to kind of man up and push through. The first one is when we have a deadline and we procrastinate up until the moment before the deadline. Okay? That's not a bad form of procrastination. And here's why. When you leave it up to the deadline to force you to get it done, you typically get it done last minute, and therefore don't get it done. You hear what I'm saying? You become very efficient and effective at getting it done. And I'm totally okay with that. I have to pack for this thing. I got up at 3:30 this morning. I left the house at 3:55. Coffee, right? About a 20-minute run in the dark, so I didn't wake up my wife. Could I have packed last night? Yes, but I procrastinated to the very last minute and got it done very efficiently. I mean, think about this. You ever pack for a trip and start packing too early, and you pack and then you unpack? Inefficient. Anyway, that type of procrastination is not a bad thing, provided you step up and get it done. You don't make excuses. But here's the one that kills us. The things that we have to do, and they're typically the more important things in our lives that we have to do, that we have to improve upon, that don't have a deadline. You can get behind. Self-help, personal development, dealing with what's going on between our brain, that little voice management, things like that, and our physical body. I mean, most people say they want to improve their health, right? They want to eat better. They want to get more physical, but they don't have time. See, there's no deadline to it. And, you know, the root of all procrastination is just the fact that it's either something we don't want to do or we're afraid of doing, or there's a perceived pain or harm or something like that that goes along with it. Right now, fine, that's all great. But the reason we don't work out and we use time issue, and I'll talk about time in a second because that's another big BS excuse, is because there's no deadline. What happens then is we never get to it. And days go by, weeks, months, years peel off of our life, and we're not being the best version of us possible. You know what I'm talking about there? Right? That kind of makes, what did I just say? We should one that you can use to get more done, and the second one is right from beneath your feet. When you wake up and you look back, loaded with regret, that's when you'll know, and it'll be too freaking late to do anything about it. At some point, you got to say, this is important enough now so that I can look extra years later as an example. But let me talk about time management for a second, because it's one of the most there is out there. More money spent on time management. Time is the one thing I can't manage. Now we can always. So it defies the idea of it's controlling results and outcomes. Thing you could do about time. Guess what? The amount of time, period. It ticks off at the exact same pace. Period. Nothing we can do about that, right? So the idea I'm trying to get you to here is this: that when you say I don't have enough time, I didn't have enough time, change your language. Pat, why didn't you do that? My answer should not be I ran out of time or I didn't have enough time. My answer should be I chose not to do that. I chose not to do that in the time that I had. That would be a fair and accurate statement. And when you start putting that level of accountability and responsibility on yourself, it makes you go, how am I choosing to spend my time? You know, I share this priority pyramid with people often, and it's got 4 layers to it. Top being what's most important to you that you do first in the day, and the bottom is the least important. It goes very simple. The top of the pyramid, things you should do first during the day, because we all know at the end of the day we fall behind and things don't get done, right? Things you do the first part of the day are things that have the highest lifetime value to them. Things that have a high lifetime value. Second in line, high dollar value. And this starts getting into the parts of the business that you're involved with that make money. Third thing in line, sometimes should be low dollar value. And finally, the end of the day should be the no dollar or negative dollar value activity. You say, well, how do I have negative value dollar activity? Anytime you distract yourself with anything that puts you in a negative frame of mind, that's a negative dollar value activity, because negative attracts negative. You get on Facebook and you see some twit kind of blasting about politics, and you decide to read it, and you get emotionally engaged. Bam, you're there. You've got a negative emotion in you. You can't have negative and positive. And one attracts more of it. That's a negative value activity. You get caught up in a drama-rich TV show, right? That's another one right there. And those are choices. Those, again, that's the amateur coming out, distracting. But not only now are you not only doing what you should be doing, now you're taking away. You're talking about, you know, throwing yourself in a ditch and then burying your own hole. That's what you're doing. Good. So anyways, just let me share that little piece on. People are like, well, how do you prioritize your day? Well, you do it just like that. High lifetime value activity. That's reading books, self-meditation, any type of physical training, anything that fuels the brain, anything that gets you thinking. Read, right? Get your mind doing different things. There are a lot smarter people than you and I that went before us. Why should we wait till we're 90 years old to gain that wisdom? It's available to us right now. High dollar value activities, get into your business, focus on the things that you do the best. And if you're wondering in your business what it is you should be doing, you should do the things that only you should do, meaning the only things that you can do, that nobody else can do. Start thinking about that one for a second. You go back to that idea we talked about. Hang on. Yeah, success has to be non-negotiable. That's brilliant. Absolutely. What if you took that and you just, because everything's negotiable unless it's not on the table. What if that was not on the table? I mean, that wasn't an option. It's kind of like my wife and I. We ran into some hard times in our marriage. Divorce was never an option. It was never a consideration. Things back together because we got shit going on. We're going to solve it. Success should be the same way. There's no quitting. It's a process. Now, let's define success, and we can define it different ways. I'm going to give you two definitions because they apply during different times, right? Daily application. Success. Steady forward progress towards a known worthy outcome. Steady forward progress towards a known worthy outcome, which means that it's not something that can be given to you that you possess. It's a process every day. You let off, man. Guess what? You stop the steady forward progress. You're no longer in a state of success. But the cool thing about that is that you can choose now to be in a state of success. You don't have to wait till later to be successful, like a lot of us put off. Well, I'm not successful yet, but it's on my to-do list. No bullshit. You can get into a state of success right now. Steady forward progress towards a known worthy outcome. When you pick what that outcome is, choose that. Get clear on it. And, of course, that's a whole nother discussion, the idea that so many of us never bother even figuring out what that is. What are you doing all this for? Where are you trying to go with it? Right? Don't just give me money. Money is not a goal. Money is a result along the way, but it ain't a goal. It's part of the process. It's something that happens when you do something that's of value for others. It's a way to measure. It's a great matrix, but it's not a goal. What's the goal? The outcome. I had something else. I totally just forgot it.
Well, I think we're at a good kind of stopping point. Thank you.
So when Scott, I get this one. This goes. You talked too long.
We're about out of time.
30 minutes.
First of all, thank you.
Appreciate you guys, and thank you for having me on, man. This is a blast. And yes, we could do this in a marathon.
Thank you
someday. So listen,
appreciate
it's been a pleasure.
See you later. Hey, everybody.
Peace, guys.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks for going through the technical issues, the sound not working, the thing dying on us and stuff like that. But thank you so much for joining us, and join us next Wednesday on the next Hump Day Happy Hour. We'll see y'all guys at the top. Bye, everybody.